Good morning. We're talking about Chapter 1 today. There is going to be 4 different areas or domains that you're going to be hearing about through the entire class. And the first one is physical development. Fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Fine is fingers, gross motor is arms and legs. We also have cognitive development. That is how we think and how we learn. Emotional developments are emotions. How we perceive others, understanding their feelings of empathy or lack of empathy. We also have social development, and this is how we get along with others in a group or peer setting. We also have language development that is connected with the cognitive development, the ages and stages that we move along through in learning how to speak, which starts at birth with children crying all the way to children speaking the complete sentences and be able to answer questions later in our preschool years. But in this class we're going to be focusing on infants and toddlers when it comes to these 4 different domains of development. Now, as we talk about domains of development, that brings to us different people that have researched and have studied how children learn. One of these people is John Locke. John Locke is well known for his thoughts that children were born with a blank slate. Children knew nothing. That was called tabula rasa. Well, we now know that children are not born with a blank slate. Children are actually born with knowing and having knowledge of sounds. They know their mother's and father's voices or whoever they have heard in utero. They are born knowing to cry. They know how to cry to connect with other people. That is not a blank slate. Another person we're going to be talking about in this class is, another person we're talking about is Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is an early childhood theorist that has studied the sexuality of children and the stages of sexuality production. One of the other theorists we're going to be talking about is Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget is well known for his information that he has given us and studied on how children go through ages and stages of development. Every child has a sequence of development that they follow through time, but every child goes through that sequence of development at a different rate of speed. Okay, some children develop fast in some areas and slow in other areas, but most children develop on a timeline. There may be several months between different children. You may have a child that is 2 years of age and they're more on the level of a 3-year-old, or you may have a child that is 2 years of age and is on the level of a 1-year-old. Okay, so everybody develops a little bit differently, but they develop on that same scale of development. Okay, that goes back to Piaget. We also have Erik Erikson. Erik Erikson is one of our early childhood theorists, and he is well known for stages of development that have to do with trust, autonomy, identity, and intimacy. And in this class, we'll be focusing on trust and autonomy. Children have to learn how to trust in order to feel comfortable and safe in an environment. If there's no trust, they're not going to feel comfortable in your classroom or coming into your child care facility. Also, autonomy is all about me, myself, and I. Children that are birthed through 2.5, 3 years of age, everything revolves around me, 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 me. Okay? We want to take them from being inclusive to themselves to learning how to be independent, and that is autonomy. Learning how to be independent. We don't want the me, 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 me's, but that's what we have in our infant, wobbler, and toddlers. Okay, but we are pushing them and pulling them and teaching them how to move from being about me to being about and being aware of the others that are around us. Another person that we're going to be talking about in this class is some of our behavioral theorists. Some behavioral theorists we're going to be talking about here is B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner is well known for his theory of classical conditioning. He's a behaviorist. He studied how children behave around others in their actions. He also has learned that children, the more positive reinforcement a child gets, the more they're going to do the actions that are involved. The more negative reinforces, the more they're going to be withdrawn. Or sometimes we have kids that actually seek out attention through negative behaviors. Those are some things we're going to be speaking about in this class. Another person we're going to be talking about in this class is Lev Vygotsky. Lev Vygotsky is is a person that came up with the sociocultural theory. He studied how children get along with others and the cultural settings in which they grow up in. Every one of us come from a different setting or a different home, and when we come into a classroom, when there's 10 to 12 children in a toddler classroom, or 6 children in an infant classroom, those children behave in different ways because it's a different learning environment. Those are some of the main people we're going to be speaking about and learning about in Chapter 1. Now, there's a few other things I wanted to kind of go over with you in this chapter. In child care, we have infant care, wobbler care, and toddler care, talking about infants and toddlers. And within this care, we have to make sure that there's no child abuse or neglect. We have to be aware of the kids that are coming to us, how to identify child abuse and neglect. What is homelessness? You know, our parents, are they homeless? The people that are coming to us have a lot of different things that they are going through. We have parents that are going through divorces. We have families going through remarriages, through adoptions, through having babies. Maybe a child is in foster care. You may have a child that lives with a grandparent or extended family. There's lots of different things that can affect how a child acts when they come into your classroom. So don't think that a child is being bad to be bad, because they're not. There's a reason a child is having negative behaviors in the classroom or positive behaviors, because they're being in a caring environment with their families. But if it's a negative environment, the child is going to come in and they're not going to be as responsive to the activities that you're going to be doing with them if they are not receiving a positive impact in the home. Now, something else in the class that in this chapter I want you to be aware of is settings that children can be in child care. We have family grouping programs. There's infant care, toddler care, and wobbler care. We also have family daycare homes. There's early Head Start. There's lots of different types of programs that are out there. And within this program, there's a lot of different what we call diversity. And diversity means there's different people from different people groups that are represented in each one of those areas. And to be open and non-biased towards all the children in all of our programs is very important. That is the main information I want you to really focus on Chapter 1 as you're reading the chapter. I hope this video helps you. And check out Chapter 2.